This is the good morning. This is the time and place for the planning hearing officers' hearings for February 16th, 2011. We've got two conditional use permit cases today, and in a conditional use permit application, there are 4 required findings that have to be made. Those are outlined in the staff reports. So we will address the public notice issue. Notification for this hearing was accomplished by the use of public notices, which were mailed to property owners located within 500 feet of the subject property, physically posted on the site in question, and placed in the local newspaper. I think we have a small crowd. I think everybody in the audience is familiar with, that's here today, is familiar with the order in which we conduct these hearings. Again, I want to emphasize that after the hearing, the decision will be prepared in writing, be in the form of a letter sent to the applicant and to all persons who responded to the public notices, either by speaking at the hearing or submitting written responses, and who've also given us their name and mailing address. The date of the decision is the date that's on the letter. Now, under the appeal provisions of Title 30, Chapter 30.62 of the Glendale Municipal Code, the decision may be appealed to the Planning Commission within 15 days of the date of the decision. Anyone wishing to appeal can get the necessary forms and information on these procedures from a planner stationed in our permit center located at 633 East Broadway. And if you haven't already done so, please fill out a speaker card and provide it to staff. So let me open the first case, case number, conditional use permit case number PCUP 2010-030. Is continued from January 12th and February 2nd, 2011 at 145 North Maryland Avenue. Applicant is Garo Nazarian. The property owners are Charlene Hodgen and Vadine Trust. And this is an application for a conditional use permit to allow the sales, service, and on-site consumption of alcoholic beverages at a new full-service restaurant located at 145 North Maryland Avenue within the DSP Downtown Specific Plan Zone and Maryland District. And it's described as lots 1 and 2 of WS Knott Tract and portion of Lot A, parcel map number GLN 1543. So, Mr. Nazarian, you want to come up? Now, we continued it for the modification of the public notice, so that was apparently done. And you were going to check with our redevelopment staff regarding the parking exception provision. So why don't you, for the record, tell us what you found?
And I discussed this issue with the agency, with the planner, Mark Berry. Okay. After reviewing the original parking agreement which agency had with the property owner, they did find that we are okay, we don't have to do anything, and it was the issue, if it's a paid parking issue, that should be clarified. Mark told that is not the agency policy to reinforce anybody to buy monthly passes and to pay all the the participation conditions in originally when they established this agreement. It has been accomplished, and we don't have to do anything further. So we are okay with the parking issue with the agency.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
I don't see any other cards. Is there anything you want to add before I close the hearing?
No.
Got all the information.
If you have any question, I will be happy to.
No, I think all the questions were answered last time. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I'm going to close this case, take it under submission, and I'll be issuing a decision in writing. I'm going to turn the hearing over to Eric Krause, who's going to be the hearing officer for the next case.
Good morning. My name is Eric Krause, and I'll be conducting the hearing for the second case as hearing officer. Our second case today is located at 2261 Honolulu Avenue. It's a conditional use permit to allow service of alcohol at an existing restaurant. Case number is PCUP 2010-031. The applicant is Alan Malikian. The owners are Babak and Mitra Akhavan, and the case planner is Jalali Kazayan. Excuse me with the butchering of the names there. So the applicant is for a conditional use permit to allow the sale, service, and consumption of beer and wine at an existing full-service restaurant. The existing restaurant has a conditional use permit prior approval for sale and service of alcoholic beverages. It's located in the CR Commercial Retail Zone, described as Lot 62, tract number 1701. Can we have a staff report, please?
2010-031 is located at 2261 Honolulu Avenue. The request is for renewal of an existing conditional use permit to allow continued sales, service, and consumption of beer and wine at an existing full-service restaurant, Bluefish Japanese Restaurant. The sale of beer and wine is incidental to the primary dining function of the restaurant. Standard variance case number 10503-S was granted to allow the establishment of a full-service restaurant in an existing building without providing a minimum number of required parking spaces. Conditional use permit case number 10571-CU was granted to allow the sales, service, and on-site consumption of alcoholic beverages at a full-service restaurant in the CR Commercial Retail Zone. The subject restaurant shares the lot with another restaurant. 3 parking stalls serve the 2 restaurants on site. The site is bounded by Honolulu Avenue to the south, Montrose Lane and City parking lot to the north, and commercial buildings to the east and west. The restaurant use and propose incidental serving and consumption of beer and wine on the premises are consistent with the various elements of general plan. And the incidental serving of alcoholic beverages provide a service and convenience to the community. The Bluefish restaurant has operated at its current location, serving beer and wine with meals for 7 years without detriment to the public health, service, or environment, as well as having no adverse impact on or conflict with adjacent uses. The Police Department and Neighborhood Services Divisions have not expressed any major concerns regarding this application. According to the Police Department, Bluefish Japanese Restaurant is located in Census Tract 3006, which allows for 7 on-site on-sale establishments. There are currently 33 on-sale establishments in this tract. Bluefish is one of the existing 33. Based on Part 1 crime statistics for Census Tract 3006, in 2009, there were 135 crimes, 63% above the city-wide average of 84. However, the CUP application will not exacerbate the current condition with regards to the number of establishments serving beer and wine in the tract. The Police Department has set limitations and made recommendations on the operation of the restaurant, which are included in the conditions of approval. The restaurant provides a service to the neighboring commercial and residential uses, serving beer and wine as complementary and incidental to serving meals, will not adversely affect or conflict with adjacent uses or impede the normal development of surrounding properties, which are mainly commercial uses, including restaurant, retail facilities. No addition to the existing restaurant is proposed. All services and utilities such as gas, electricity, and phone lines are available since the site is fully developed and associated facilities are in place. 3 parking spaces are available to serve the 2 restaurants on the site. Additional parking spaces are available north of the subject facility in a city parking lot across Montrose Lane in a convenient location for the patrons to the restaurant to utilize. The circulation element of the general plan is to ensure that existing development is provided with adequate and safe street capable of accommodating traffic associated with the proposed use. Honolulu Avenue is a community collector street which has the capacity to carry and accommodate the traffic generated in this commercial neighborhood. In addition, to allow the restaurant to continue the sale, service, and consumption of beer and wine should not affect traffic, as the restaurant has been serving beer and wine for 7 years without an adverse impact. This concludes my presentation. I'm available for any question.
Thanks very much. At this point, I'd like to call the applicant forward to give a brief presentation, please.
Good morning. My name is Alan Mullican. I'm the applicant for the project. I think the staff went through all the findings, but as part of the application, if this was a part of the F, which is the for application involves sales and serving and consumption of alcohol, there are 5 items that I want to go over that just to make sure that we cover those as well. The first question is, if the existing or proposed on-site or off-site use is located in a census tract with more than the California Department of Alcohol Beverage Control recommend maximum concentration, how does such a use not will not intensify or otherwise contribute to the adverse impact of the surrounding area caused by such a over concentration? For the past 7 years, current restaurant has operated under the CUP 10571-CU with no incidents. The request is not being proposed for a new establishment or change of use to a current restaurant. Even though the Department of ABC statistics did not reveal any licenses on file, there exist over 22 on-sale licenses for census tract. However, given the regional nature of the particular shopping district, a special circumstance and consideration do apply. The request is highly compatible with the pattern of the established uses along this portion of the Honolulu Avenue with its high concentration of retail shops, restaurant, and other commercial uses. The existing use, it has operated under current CUP with set hours, limited seating capacity, and lack of any other activities such as entertainment, happy hours, or bars. The current restaurant is also joined all sides by commercial zone property and therefore has insulated the interior neighborhood from potential disturbance due to traffic or noise. The proposed project has also enhanced the security and aesthetics of the shopping strips by its ample lighting and close monitoring by employees to discourage any untoward activities. Serving beer and wine has enhanced fine dining pleasure for any patrons and enabled the operation to compete with more favorable with other full-service restaurants. The existing or proposed use is located in a crime reporting district with a crime rate which exceeds 20% of the city average Part 1 crime as reported. How does such use not or will not tend to encourage to or intensify crime within this district? Based on the police statistics from Glendale Police Department indicates that this area question below average when it comes to Part 1 crime. How does and will the existing or proposed use not adversely impact any church, public or private school or college, daycare facility, public park, library, hospital, or residential use within the surrounding areas? Survey of the immediate area did not yield any of these described above, other than the residential, which is beyond the city limits across the parking lot. How does and will adequate parking and loading facility by providing the existing or proposed use or other reasonable alternatives satisfy the transportation and parking needs of the existing proposed use? The parking variance was granted in conjunction with the particular use. City operated free parking lot consisting of 320 parking spaces is available immediately rear of the property, which is the north. In addition, there is an alleyway behind the premises as well as a small on-site parking lot consisting of 3 spaces that has more than sufficed the loading area for the operation for past 7 years. The current restaurant has operated over 7 with no problem with the parking availability. The last, which is number 5, notwithstanding consideration of the above criteria, how does and will existing or proposed use serve a public necessity or public convenience purpose for this area? The current restaurant has been in business for operation under the CUP for past 7 years with no incidents. The restaurant Bluefish has become an icon establishment in a small community in Montrose Shopping District. This existing restaurant has served the need of the local business people, shoppers, and nearby residents since its opening day. The current restaurant is a Japanese cuisine sushi, which beer and wine are essential to its dining pleasure. Just as a nice bottle of wine greatly enhances dining experience when consuming beef or lamb products, people greatly favor sake or rice wine when consuming Japanese cuisine. Here for any questions you may have.
Okay, great, thanks. I just had a couple quick questions.
Sure.
Have you read through all the draft conditions that were in the staff report?
We have.
I'm just kind of, I'm specifically curious with condition number 8 that says no separate bar area to serve alcoholic beverages shall be permitted inside the restaurant.
Right. Well, that has been there since past 7 years, and the owner is aware of that. All it says is that there's not going to have a separate. I mean, the space is so limited that it's just the bar, the sushi bar, is the only element there that it consists of the bar title. But there's no alcohol being served behind the bar itself. It's just a sushi counter.
Yeah, great. And then also there's a condition on here, a suggested condition that the hours of operation be between 11 a.m. and 10 p.m. That's condition number 11.
And that's
is that acceptable to the applicant?
11 to 10.
Okay.
It is. It's been closing at 11 for past 7 years. So.
And then just kind of one other quick question in terms of the. I mean, we've seen in the staff report, and you mentioned yourself that the calls for service in that area are pretty high.
Okay.
I guess 63% above the average. Have any of those calls for service been to the actual restaurant itself?
Not a single.
I don't see any other speaker cards. So, if you're done, that's all the questions that I have at this point. Okay. Well, I'm going to go ahead and close the case and take this case under submission. I'll be issuing my decision letter shortly. Thank you.